Welcome into another Riley Everyday, and today I'm going to tell you 10 things you need to know about North Carolina's Drake Powell ahead of the NBA draft. The first thing to know about Drake Powell is that he is a Tar Heel through and through. It's a bit of a joke among UNC fans that anytime a recruit cites Carolina as his dream school, he usually heads elsewhere. But not Drake Powell, he actually followed through on it. Both of his parents attended UNC, his dad played baseball there, and his cousin is actually Hubert Davis. The second thing to know about Drake Powell is he stayed home. That is, he went to Northwood High School and played there instead of going to a prep school. Northwood is in Pittsboro, NC, just about 15 minutes away from UNC's campus. And while at Northwood, he showed off his versatile skill set that made him such a highly coveted recruit. He averaged 18 points, 8 boards, dished out 4.5 assists, grabbed 2.2 steals and 1.2 blocks as well, showing that two-way upside with the point wing tendencies. The third thing to know about Drake Powell is he committed to UNC on his 17th birthday in September of 2022. He was just starting his junior year at the time, but he actually wrote a commitment article about himself for Inside Carolina. It sort of functioned like a feature story, and he said that halfway through his official visit, he knew that Chapel Hill was where he wanted to be. The fourth thing to know about Drake Powell is he was a big riser through the recruiting ranks the summer before his senior year. When he committed to Carolina, he was barely inside the top 60, but a stellar junior campaign put him in the limelight. Then he dominated at Peach Jam, averaging 17, 10, and 4. He rose as high to number 4 in 24/7 Sports ranking before ultimately settling in at number 11. The fifth thing to know about Drake Powell is he shined at Jason Tatum's camp in Las Vegas last summer. Draft Express's John Chepkovich tweeted about it, but at the camp he showed all of the flashes of defense, athleticism, and playmaking that made him such a special prospect, and he did it against some of the best competition in the world. Number 6, despite all the fanfare, his UNC career started pretty quietly. He didn't make his first start until 8 games into the season on December 4th, which do with that information what you will, but he did show some highlights along the way. In a bye game against American University, he grabbed 11 boards and blocked 3 shots, one of which was an emphatic two-handed swat that made its rounds on social media. The seventh thing to know about Powell is he had his breakout in the Maui Invitational Tournament. He was one of UNC's lone bright spots in its trip to the islands, where it went 1-2. But in an overtime loss against Michigan State, he scored a career-high 18 points and knocked down 4 of his 6 three-point attempts. And on that topic of his jumper, it was a question mark going into the season, but he shot 38% from beyond the arc on 2.5 attempts per game. And that leads us to number 8. The advanced metrics absolutely love Drake Powell and his impact on UNC. Per CBB Analytics, Carolina's net rating, that is the team's point differential per 100 possessions, it nearly doubled when Powell was on the floor versus when he was off of it. And number 9, part of the reason for that disparity is Powell's tremendous impact on the defensive side of the ball. Per my guy Muhammad at MCF NBA on Twitter, opposing pick and roll ball handlers shot just 32% from the field when guarded by Drake Powell. Those numbers back up the eye test, where if you watch the highlights, you can tell that he profiles as one of the best point of attack defenders in this class. And that brings us to our last thing to know about Drake Powell. Number 10, he showed off his explosiveness at the NBA Combine. There, he logged the highest max vert with 43 inches, further underlining all of those physical tools that make him such a high upside player. I really think it's the height, the wingspan, the athleticism, the lateral mobility that gives him a pretty high floor, even if there is some risk not knowing exactly how it will translate on the offensive side of the floor. That's 10 things you need to know about Drake Powell.